Hi everybody, welcome back to Sherry Tries That, or welcome if you're new. This week I am going to try something called Squeegee Art. I had never heard of this, but it appeared on my Google list of what's trending. So I looked into it and I thought it looked pretty cool. Kind of fun, not expensive. So that's my kind of art. So I went to the dollar store and I got a squeegee, one of the short ones like you use on the shower doors or shower walls. Not the kind for your car, although you can use that, but I would think that would be pretty awkward. And I have lots of acrylic paints. I got a few more for specific colors that I thought I wanted to use. And I had a whole bunch of pieces of cardboard that were white on one side. So I thought that would be a good thing to use. So that's what I'm using. And squeegee art is when you do sort of like drops of color or dots of color. Depending on what you want to make, you might do lines of color or squiggly lines, but you do that and then you take the squeegee and drag it across the wet paint and you form pictures. It can be abstract or it can be specific things. I saw some that were very elaborate and I know that it's well beyond my capabilities. But I'm going to try one of the simpler ones for a specific picture, and then I'm going to try an abstract. There were there was one like it was like a three-tier birthday cake with candles on the top and decorations on it and everything. And when they did it, it looked very cool. And I thought, ooh, I want to do that. And then as I watched more and more videos, I thought, oh, I'm not going to be able to do that. I better start with something pretty simple. And, if it goes really well, I could try more elaborate, sophisticated ones in the future, maybe. But I'm going to start pretty simple. So come along and let's see how this turns out. Okay, I think I have settled on my order of color. There was one more change. And I'm going to try the cat one first. I should probably try the abstract first because an abstract can't really be wrong. But for some reason, I want to try the cat one first. So this is the way we're going to do it. And I also want to make sure that I put paint within the squeegee area. So the squeegee covers pretty much this whole piece of cardboard, but just make sure it doesn't go right to the ends. Okay, here we go. This might be a little too thick. And it's running, which I wasn't expecting. Take two. I feel like you have to find the balance between not too thick, but enough paint on there that it's going to scrape down. They certainly make it look easy in the videos. Take 3. I dropped water on the last one. I just feel like putting it on with the brush is not going to leave enough paint to pull down. I'm going to try this again. I think maybe I had better work a little more quickly. Man, this is harder than it looks. And there's no way that's going to work, so I'm going to go back and put some in there. Okay. One set of instructions that I read said to leave it just a little bit so that it gets just a little bit tacky, that it works better that way. But they've all been poured at different times. And actually, they kind of seem too thick to be tacky. Here we go. Wish me luck. I just remembered I was supposed to tape this down so that it stayed still. I think it's too late for that. So we'll just, here we go.
Let's go. Let's go.
No. And then for these to be cats afterwards, you use a black marker and draw on, you know, eyes, nose, whiskers, mouth, whatever you want. I think we're going to have to try that again. So it kind of worked a little bit, but I can learn some things from this one. First of all, you can't hesitate. You can't kind of stop and then drag it and stop and drag it. You got to just do it in one full thing. I don't know why this one didn't go first. I guess I wasn't pressing evenly and didn't have enough pressure down on that one. We're going to try it again. I think I'm going to flip these two colors though. I'm going to try to work a little faster this time. Oh, I should have anchored down my page this time. Apparently, sometimes it takes me more than once to learn a lesson. going to be the weirdest cats you've ever seen. All right, I'm going to try to do a better job of pressing evenly. Okay, so I know what I've done wrong on this one, and that is that I'm up here when I should be down here. So I wasn't scraping the paint sort of across it as much as collecting it on the thing. Yeah, that's awful. All right, let's try again. I didn't really find that this moved a lot, but I am going to tape it down, at least in those corners. All right, let's try again. All right. Down. Man, I just cannot get that end one. All right. Right now, those look nothing like cats. I'm going to let it dry, then we'll put the faces on it. In the meantime, let's try an abstract. I'm going to do this one portrait style as opposed to landscape. I don't think the tape actually did anything last time, but we'll tape it down just to be on the safe side. Getting wet splotches on it. So the one that I liked looked like it just had dots, different colors, different sizes, randomly placed. Probably not as random as I think. And here we go. I'm sure there's a lot more science to this than I realize. Probably where the large dots go in relation to the small dots and all that kind of thing, so that when you do this, you don't have like an empty space or something. I have high hopes for this one. I hope it turns out. Now you can't see what I'm doing. kind of interesting. What if we go over it? Will I ruin it? What do we think? Looks a little muddy to me. We'll let it dry. See what we think after it dries. If I wanted to keep this, I might change my mind after it dries, but I think I would want to crop it there and there and there. So all the places that I kind of went back over or went in a different direction, I don't like. Okay, take this one down. And when I start putting the paint down this time, I want to move a little faster. I did see in the last one that some of them had like a little ring around them where it had started to dry. And actually, I didn't mind that as part of the design. I kind of liked it, actually. But I think I should move a little faster. So let's go. So, you know, when you're in that state between sleeping and waking, that's when I always have my best ideas, or if I've been trying to figure something out, the answer comes to me. I'm not saying that that's what's happened here, but last night or this morning, I guess when I was just waking up, I saw myself doing this, putting all the dots on, and then turning the page this way and dragging it to the right instead of up to down. And it turned out really well. So I'm going to give this a try and see if it makes any difference. We'll do one last one, and then I'll show them all to you. And the others have dried. Okay, so now we're going to turn it this way. And see if it makes a difference. I'm going to put that aside. That's the last white one that I had. I do have some. I do have some yellow sheets. Let me try something. I like parts of this up here where they're kind of separate. When I've run them together too much, to me it looks muddy and I don't like it. I'm going to try one more, which I've said twice now. I don't have enough left on here. Okay. I'm inventing a new kind of squeegee art. I'm going to stop now. Okay, I'm going to show all of them to you. This, of course, is the cat one. All the others will be the variations of the abstract. So that's number 2. That's number 3. I think it's upside down. That's it. That's number 3. That's number 4. I like this one, except I don't like the lines that appear where I hesitated. That's number 4. That one's number 5. And that one's number 6. So, what did you think of Squeegee Art? It turned out kind of the way I expected, which was adjacent to the videos I saw, but not nearly as good. I'm sure it's the kind of thing that the more you practice it, the more you do it, the better you get at it. Like the really sophisticated ones that I saw, man, I am nowhere near ready for those. There are people out there that are really good at this, and this was my first time, and I don't have natural artistic talent to begin with, so mine didn't look anything like theirs. But you know, I'm not super unhappy with the cats. And I've learned a number of things. If I were to do this again, you can't hesitate as you pull down because it will show a line there. Even if you don't move it and hold it really still, if you stop for a second, you're going to have a line. So you've got to make that commitment. Once you start pulling the squeegee, don't stop, don't hesitate, do it all the way. The other thing that I found out is that if you put tape over part of the cardboard or whatever you're on, no no paint is going to go there. And you're going to end up with little white corners. Something to keep in mind. Another thing, and this is maybe personal preference, I found that, so once you do it and you turn your squeegee over and look at it, there's a, when I did it, there was a lot of paint left on the squeegee, and they had mixed, and there were some beautiful patterns there with paint that I wanted to then capture. I didn't want to waste it, but I found that if I went back over something, like the top and the sides of this, it didn't really work out. To me, then I was mixing colors that maybe don't do well mixed, and it just got muddy looking, and I didn't like that part. But on the flip side, if I took a blank piece of cardboard and kind of wiped my squeegee, I got something like that, which I like much better. I'm not enough of an art aficionado to know when one abstract is good and one abstract is bad. I've always found that kind of fascinating. I remember a story a long time ago about like a 4-year-old or a 7-year-old child that was painting abstracts, and all these art professionals were saying, she's so gifted, it's so good. And I'm thinking, how is hers different than another 4-year-old's just random painting of colors? I'm not doubting them, but I guess I don't really have an eye to say that is a good abstract. That is a talented, gifted artist versus another abstract, and that's just amateur and that's awful. And, depending on what it is. I also didn't get the appeal of the banana duct taped to the wall as art, so each to his own. Anyway, I think of the ones that I did, my favorite is either this one or this one. I kind of like this last one because it's lighter. And it didn't have any lines of hesitation. Anyway, what do you think? Which one was your favorite? Is this something that you might try? It can be very inexpensive. I paid, I think, $1.25 for the squeegee at Dollarama, and the paints were all from Dollarama as well. And as I said, I had collected the cardboard. I tend to keep, like, when I buy, say, a frozen pizza and it comes on a round piece of cardboard, I was saving those for a long time. Anyway, you can get poster board, construction paper. It just has to have enough weight to be able to handle the paint. But let me know if you think you might try it. And if so, are you going to try abstract, or are you going to try an actual design like the cats or city buildings or, city landscape kind of thing? Or if I try it again, I have a couple of ideas. I would like to try the sort of cityscape, but we'll see. Anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know if you're going to try it. And if so, what are you going to try to do? As always, thank you for your comments. I appreciate them. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for viewing. And if you share, thank you for that. If this is your first time to my channel, I hope that you will consider becoming a subscriber and following along, watching old videos, seeing what I try next. And if you have ideas of what you would like to see me try next, please leave those in the comments down below. Thank you so much for joining me today on Sherry Tries That, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.